In this video, we are going to break down PTE Core exam from the examiner marking criteria. Let me ask you something. Have you ever walked out of PTE Core exam feeling completely confident, only to see your score later and think, how did I lose marks? You answered every question, you spoke clearly, you typed everything, you thought you performed well, but your score report says otherwise. Why does this happen? Because most students prepare for PTE core the wrong way. They focus only on getting answers correct. But PTE core is not marked like your school exams. It is not simply about right answers and wrong answers. It is marked using very specific scoring criteria. And if you don't understand exactly how the system evaluates your performance, you may keep repeating the same mistakes even without realizing it. So today I'm going to explain in detail how PTE Core examiners and the scoring system actually mark your test. So this video is extremely important because once you understand the marking criteria, then your preparation becomes smarter, more focused, and much more effective. So let's get started. One of the biggest misunderstandings students have is this one. They imagine a human examiner sitting there listening to every answer and personally deciding their score. That is not how PTE Core works. PTE Core uses AI based scoring technology supported by expert design assessment criteria. This means your responses are evaluated based on measurable performance indicators, right? So the system does not care if you feel you did well. It scores what it can objectively measure. For example, if your pronunciation is unclear, the system automatically detects it. If your fluency breaks repeatedly, the system notices it. If your writing lacks structure, it gets penalized. If your answer is off topic, then marks are lost immediately. This is why understanding the scoring criteria is not optional, it is essential. Okay? Then, PTE Core evaluates your English using four major skill areas. Speaking, that means this measures oral fluency, pronunciation, content relevance. And writing, here, this one measures the content accuracy, grammar, vocabulary, organization, and of course, the written discourse. And reading, this measures your comprehension, understanding context, vocabulary interpretation, and how you are going to analyze this logically. Okay? And the fourth one, listening, this area measures your ability to identify the details and your ability to interpret the meaning and how you're understanding the spoken context and how you're processing information quickly. But here is what many of you don't know. Some tasks contribute to multiple skills at the same time. For example, a speaking task may also affect your listening score. A writing task may influence your reading score. That means one weak response can impact more than one section. Okay? And let's begin with speaking because this is where many students lose marks without even realizing it. The speaking section is usually evaluated based on three major factors. The first one is oral fluency. So, this is not about just speaking fast. This is one of the biggest myths, okay? Many students think if I speak quickly, I will sound fluent. That's wrong. Fluency means speaking smoothly, naturally, and continuously. So the system checks for long, unnatural pauses. It checks for the hesitations or frequent restarts, broken rhythm. For example, if you're saying the picture shows people standing, this breaks fluency, right? The picture shows a group of people standing in an outdoor setting. Notice the smooth flow? That is fluency. Second comes pronunciation. Pronunciation doesn't mean having an American, British, or Canadian accent. You don't need to fake an accent, right? The system evaluates can your words be clearly understood? It checks sound clarity, stress patterns, word articulation, intelligibility. For example, if you say very instead of very or sip instead of ship, it can affect your score. Clarity matters more than accent here. And the next one is the content. This is where many of you lose marks. Even if your English sounds excellent, if your response does not address the task, your content score drops here. For example, if the question asks you to describe a graph, but you start giving personal opinions unrelated to the graph, then you lose content marks, isn't it? Always try to answer exactly what is asked. Let's move to writing now because this section evaluates much more than grammar. So, here again, content relevance, very important. The examiner checks, did you answer the exact question? If the task asks, describe the advantages of online learning and you write about classroom discipline, you lose marks immediately, right? And the second one is grammar. So this includes the sentence structure, the verb tense accuracy, and the way that you use the subject verb agreement, proper punctuation. Okay, he go to school every day. That's an incorrect sentence. He goes to school every day. So you have to look for the grammar properly. And next comes the vocabulary in writing. The system rewards appropriate vocabulary, not complicated vocabulary, not fancy or advanced words, because many of you force yourself to use advanced words and you may end up in using it incorrectly. Simple and correct is always better than complex and wrong. Got it? And the next one is organization. So your response should have clear introduction, logical body, effective conclusion. Ideas should connect in a very natural way. Randomly jumping between ideas, then that will reduce your scores. Got it? And the next one is for reading marking criteria. Now we have seen listening, writing. Now we are moving on to reading. So in reading, the system checks your ability to process meaning accurately. This includes understanding explicit information, that means what is not directly stated, understanding implied meaning, what is suggested but not told directly. Your contextual vocabulary understanding, whether can you infer meaning from context or not, and the logical sequencing, like how nicely you're connecting your ideas. So all these are getting tested here. Got it? Then the next one is for listening marking criteria. In listening, examiners assess how accurately you process spoken English in real time. This includes detailed recognition, that means whether you're able to catch specific facts or not. The main idea identification, what does it mean? Can you identify the main idea or the central message? Then comes the interpretation. Can you understand implied meaning? And then the speed of processing. This is, of course, very important. Can your brain handle real time spoken input or not? Got it? Now, the biggest reason students lose marks, most of you practice endlessly, but you practice blindly. You focus only on completing tasks, right? You don't practice according to scoring criteria. So, this is like preparing for a football match without knowing how goals are counted. If you don't know what earns marks, then your preparation becomes inefficient. So, every time you practice, you have to ask yourself, especially for speaking, you should ask, was I smooth, clear, and relevant? And for writing, was I accurate, organized, and task focused? And for reading, you should ask yourself, did I understand meaning, not just words? And for listening, did I identify both the facts and implied meaning? So, like this, you should try to ask questions to yourself and then you have to reflect on how you have done. Okay. Now, I'm going to give you the real secrets to high scores. The highest scorers, they don't just practice more, they practice with awareness. They know exactly what the scoring system rewards, correct? And they train specifically for those areas. So, if you have been preparing for PTE Core without fully understanding the marking criteria, this is your wake up call. From today onward, stop practicing randomly. Start practicing strategically because success in PTE Core is not about doing more questions. It is about understanding exactly what earns marks. If this video helped you understand how PTE Core is actually scored, kindly like, share, and subscribe for more PTE Core tips. See you in the next video. Bye bye.